Okay, sorry about that. I just want to check a message that just came in and have a sip of water. So while I was taking a break, I also looked at you know, how they walk. I just went on YouTube real quick, and so it reminded me without even looking it up. As soon as I looked at it, it's I don't remember where I heard this before, or read it, but it's basically like a baby crawling. That's the effect that you get with I was watching a turtle walking, and it's actually kind of funny. Some guy was like walking his giant pet turtle down the street, and it's kind of weird. But as soon as I saw it, it reminded me of what I read before. Is that a lot of animals? It's kind of like a baby crawling, and so if you think about it, when you have the baby, we just do a little, not baby really, but you know, they're on. This part's different, obviously. Their legs and the anatomy is going to be different, but they kind of have like their hand like this, and then first they'll pull this leg forward, and the other one will be back there still, right? So you can, even when I do this, just very simply, I think you can, let's put it, diaper on the baby, make it look like baby. And even when this leg comes in, this one's still back. You can even just kind of feel it. You can imagine yourself crawling. And since this hand, this knee is going forward now, this one starts to come back while this leg is pushing you forward. And so this hand, if this one is back, that means this one is reaching. Okay, so you get your joint here for the forearm. This one is reaching for the next step. Then what's going to happen when this one comes down and lands to the next step? You want on this leg, which has the knee is up now. After it comes up, that one's going to start pushing, and so this arm is going to, and then everything changes, and then this leg comes off the ground, and it makes that, it's like a cycle. Not easy to put into words, not easy to, put in the form or animation. Really, it's kind of complicated, but the easy way to go about it, kind of rule of thumb, if you're showing an animal in motion, is like, if on this side of the body, if this one is in and that one is back, then this one should be out, and this one should also be out. Just imagine that one of the arms is reaching for the next step. That's basically how to remember it. And while this one's reaching, this one is supporting the weight. Right? You have the weight, the gravity coming, or the coming down this way. And that's the ground there. So this arm will be supporting the weight with the muscle and stuff while this one reaches, and this one is also supporting the weight. And that one is stretching because that's what gives you the forward momentum of the whole body going forward like that. So, just maybe not as simple as I made it there, but it's not that easy to remember, but just something like that. So that was all the basic form, and then with a closer study of the arm, which I'll just do right now. We'll start off by doing a quick front view, I guess. So do like a head. And then this is very, very sketchy. This is where your two dots will be, right? The nose right there. It's where the little beak is. It's weird to say that a turtle has a beak, but I think we looked at it there, and that's what I saw. I saw it was a beak. So where the mouth closes too, this one here, it looks like kind of a frown. I think that's why they always have that grumpy look to them. Right here, I think. It's almost hard to tell. This is the bottom jaw. Yeah, that's right there. That's his bottom jaw. And this is the mouth crease here. So it's definitely like a frown. And there's kind of a groove that comes around here for the the lower jaw, the thicker part of the lower jaw. And then when you get close up to the teeth, you have this part. And I guess one of the most prominent features, aspects of this, is that different from a human, where we might have, with a person, you might have a nose here, two nostrils, then the lips here, and then a chin. And it's kind of like an even amount of space. Right here you have, there's a little like dimple in there, there's your lips. There's almost an even amount of space from here, from the nose to the lips, and then from the lips to the bottom of the chin. Not necessarily even. I mean, actually, it'd be smaller here, between the lips to the chin, I think. And then chin be a little longer. But when you look at the, just in case you didn't know it, notice what that was. It's like, these would be where the eyes are. This is like eyebrows, and then, you can see kind of a face there. just very quick and easy, simple face. And so the distances from here's like the lower lip, there's the bottom of the chin. It's kind of like this and this. It's a similar distance. But with the turtle, one of his prominent features is that the top of his head is much larger than the bottom, just that jaw area. He doesn't have a big chin, basically, is what we're getting at here. He doesn't have that like big masculine feature to him. Reason for that, obviously, is probably he's gonna be able to stick his head inside the shell. So if he had like a big strong jaw, that would never fit in there, wouldn't work out. So let's get back to that little sketch I was doing here, and with that in mind, we're going to have it going down, right? It's going to be a small chin down here, goes down like that. I'm not going to worry too much about exact details, anything like that. And like we said before, the top of his head is just basically flat, and shouldn't be too much space, it seems, from eye to eye. They're kind of like bulging out of the top here. This is even kind of wrong. I just keep changing the size while I'm doing this. That's why when I'm drawing on here, I frequently get very very sketchy look, because I keep changing the sky. Like I have it on hotkeys. You can make the brush real big and then make it real small like that. That's basically just how I do it. And then remember, the eyes are droopy. He almost looks like angry. Like that's a sign of a turtle, right? It's kind of like, don't bother me. I'm in my shell. Grumpy kind of look. It's funny how his facial features even like bring that out. 2 dots. So something like that. Very very sketchy. But you see, even with a sketchy thing like this, it comes out pretty good, just because I paid attention to all those details. I analyzed the space from here to there. I just broke it down into pieces, and then even with that, this isn't beautiful, but for a sketch, it's not too bad, right? And then the thing with the legs that I was just looking at, it's almost like they just come out right here like this. It's like this is a knee, and all of a sudden that knee just pops out right here, and like it goes back. This was on a particular type of turtle whose leg happened to be very strong and prominent, and so his shell would be here, and then I want to notice here. See how the shell, the space that allows his head and arms to come out, is all one big space. And kind of a teardrop thing, almost like an eye. Like you could almost draw an eye here and just go like that, right? Has that teardrop kind of look. Eye drop, I don't know, what's the word for it? And then keep in mind all the stuff that we just studied about the shell. You would definitely have this cell, these 2 cells coming out here, and they're going to taper off into the distance. I'm not going to worry too much about that. And we'll say the general area of this up here being very sketchy. I've only been using Wacom, this bamboo thing, for I don't know, a few months, and yeah, my pencil technique is way different. It's kind of hard for me to get this. I don't have very good software. You can see I'm just using the GIMP, so it doesn't have all these fancy sensitivities. I can do, and I will do later, is hit this smooth stroke button, and when I do that, I can get oh, I didn't hit it. Yeah. I can get smoother lines like that, so later on I could come back and do this and make some cartoony thing. But for now, I don't want to do that. I just want to sketch. So as you remember, I have 2 or 3 here, and this one, the first one goes like this, and then we have this shape like that, and we'll just see these ones taper off into the distance like that, right? That's good enough. You're only going to see a little bit of the shell, obviously, because it's going off into the perspective and foreshortening, stuff like that. So if this goes in, a lot of stuff that I've seen in here is just kind of like fleshy, meaty stuff, because this can all retract back into the shell, so there's probably like kind of wrinkles, basically. That's the word I'm looking for. A lot of wrinkles, and it'll look better if we just go ahead and make it black for this particular instance right here. How about the bottom? The bottom, I do know just from memory, it's going to be similar, where you have like cells down here. I do have to go look that up. I don't have pictures for it. But for now, I'll just do something like this. If there's kind of compartments, compartmentalized, because he is a pragmatic creature. He has to put everything in its place. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just assume there's another one somewhere. Maybe it's over here. 2, 3, 4. Again, this is mostly for like illustration purposes, just a rough study. It's not a scientific thing. Just real quick, look at the scales here. He has, basically just scales that overlap each other. So you could start off on the top, up here, do something like this. Actually, probably should have started up here. And then underneath, just have more come out. It's like the shingles, is that what they call it? On a roof of a house. I think you call them shingles. And then, yeah, it just goes down like that. Let's just imagine that it gets smaller and smaller, tapers off, and then blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. That's the official term for that. Thickness part up out here, because I can't make it out too well. Yep. And so that works. So, same thing over here. No sense in really, talking about this part, because I'm doing the same thing over again. That's part of drawing where, you get into the zone, you just kind of put on some music and little things like this, you don't pay attention to it. Maybe the first time you do. Then, and also some things like this where you just start to fill in space quickly because it doesn't even matter. So I have that one there. And then imagine his hind legs. Again, it was the... I guess the word baby was the correct analogy. It does, because like a baby crawling, so the hind legs would it's kind of like a knee. He's got a knee that comes out here, goes back, and then the five digits, the fingers and a thumb pop out. So that's a quick rough sketch of a turtle from a front view. That doesn't, it doesn't look good. Let me see if I try and flip this. Yeah. Obviously, it's very wobbly. This is a useful tool for me because I have a tendency to make things a little lopsided if I'm not careful. If I take my time, because there's a lot of things to consider here with this, using the tablet and not being able to have the paper in front of me. It makes a lot of problems. The reason this happens too, and this is also like pretty relevant, pretty important. What happens is my hand is comfortable making this kind of groove here, and when I flip it back over here, it's obvious why I did something like this, because it's just for my hand. I'm left-handed. It's easy for me to do that. Now watch when I do that the other way. See, it comes out. It's a little shaky. I still got the basic form, but it doesn't come out as smooth because I'm like pushing the thing across. I'm pushing this tablet pen across there, so it doesn't come out as smooth. And also, it's just more comfortable for me to do that. However, you want to avoid that when you're drawing, because as a result, as you can see, what happens here is you get a lopsidedness. You don't want to just draw in a way that feels comfortable and easy for your hand. You want to get the proper pen or paint brush stroke, or whatever kind of stroke you're looking for there. And so you gotta have a bit of a balance. It is important that you don't want to be too uncomfortable. It's not like you want to use your opposite hand and torture yourself or anything, but yeah, like that. I'm not talking about the fact that he's like on an angle like this, as opposed to horizontal like this. I was aware of that, but it's just the way that I don't notice sometimes, because I've done these kind of strokes like this and that so many times that I don't notice sometimes that it was just leaning, almost as if I was using like cursive writing, A, B, C, D, E. It's almost like you're using cursive writing to make a drawing, which is not what you want to do. You want to have your hand centered properly and get everything out there. So yeah, it looks a little better like that. And so now what we'll do with that, all that knowledge we just picked up, just take that and make a quick little illustration. Hopefully it won't take too long. I might edit some of this later on This is, as you see, I just keep using the same thing. 4,000, 2,000. It's totally unnecessary for this. Just go like that. Image crop to selection. Get back over here. Okay. And let's see. So what I normally do is I start off with a background like that. And these days, what's kind of nice, so you don't get that stark black on white feeling that can be hard on the eyes, is just add that like a little grayish background, and that'll help us later too, because we can also add some highlights and shading. So what are we gonna do with the turtle? I didn't even think this out. We do a close up with a shell. Is he super turtle? That's another thing. So now we go into sketch phase. The first one was study phase. Now we'll be in sketch phase. Sketch phase just go crazy, go mad. Maybe have a flying turtle. Maybe a turtle coming right at you with big eyes. And I don't even expect people to recognize what I'm drawing now. But just could have his hands coming at you. Use the imagination. Turtles like water. Is it flying turtle maybe? Super turtle with a cape. I'm not liking any of these ideas. But I gotta figure out something. There's a turtle up on a on a mountain. Super turtle. So I had a mountain here. Be some big turtle. See, but the turtle, it's hard to get a majestic look out of a turtle because it's a turtle. Do something like this with the arms. He's standing up there. But what if he was... Had horns? Nah. I could easily do a scary turtle. That's kind of cheesy. It's just a cop-out. Let me see. I'll have to think of something. I gotta find some inspiration for this. This isn't too bad. I'm kind of liking this kind of look. I mean, keep in mind, it's just a turtle. How far can you take it, really? That might not be too bad. Let's stick with that one. Yeah, maybe. Just, just for fun. I'll just go ahead and do that one. So erase this stuff. Let me think. I'll consider for a minute whether or not I'm going to do that or something else, and I'll be right